Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good day to my beloved students who are watching and listening to this series of lecture in this new handbook, which is specially crafted for you to refer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Hadijah Ahmad from Department of Social Science, Center for Human Sciences, University Malaysia Pahang, and I am take charge. I'll take charge for the leadership module. So I'll take here, you can see that the most famous or fascinating quotes on leadership, it is about not about title or designation, it is about impacts, influence, and inspiration. When we talk about leadership, it is full of responsibility. It is full of wonder, a lot of wonder about leadership. Right? So, introductions. Everyone's are born unique and born as a leader. Your uniqueness encompasses of one of a kind combination of personality, habit, personal trait, strengths, and weakness. I'll bet you cannot find a person that is 100 similar with you or with yourself. You cannot find them because why? We are unique in our very own way. Embrace them all to sail through to this complex era, whereby it is an era of post-pandemics, an era of natural disaster, an era where so many challenge, that need us to take full charge of our life. So this handbook is crafted to make the difference by realizing of who you are and your power to make change. Let's cultivate your art of self-leadership by understanding these important points. First, you'll understand about definition of self-leadership. You will learn about theory of self-leadership. You'll learn about the significance of leadership skills, and then you learn about the leadership skills, and then guidelines leadings from within. And these handbooks are equipped with a skill builder to polish yourself as a leader. So, ladies and gentlemen, the objective of this handbook is to make yourself, to make yourself at the end of the study, at the end of this handbook. I expect you to be able to understand the meaning of self-leadership, be able to understand the significance of leadership, self-leadership, and also appreciate yourself as a leader by building up your compassion, your courage, and also empower others. Self-leadership. Do you know what self-leadership is? Okay, if for your information, self-leadership, is first coined by Charles Simmons in 1983, and since then it's getting a mass popularity. So how does leadership theory emerge? Okay, it started in 1983. At that time, Simmons, he is a researcher. He is waiting outside the buildings, outside his hotel, outside his hotel, and he is taking a service, a limousine service, limousine service, and then the driver obviously in hurry, very irritated, very irritated, and then along the journey, the driver kept blaming, keep blaming about the system, keep blaming about the others, as the factors or as the cause of his as the cause, and he pinpoint others because he is late. So in relation with this, and suddenly when he drove, months, he and at one point, and the traffic light, they have to wait for the pedestrian. And again, the driver, the limousine driver, kept saying that if he is unable to transport Mans, transport Mans, the philosopher or the theorist, the researcher, to the intended place at intended time, he will be punished. He will be punished, suspended. His salary will be suspended about 5 days. And then through the conversation, Mans get and get this perception and get this information that they are strict rules. They are the strict rule that companies impose to their workers. For example, which I have given to you just now, is a suspended salary, suspended salary for about 5 days, and then suspended their works or their job and so on. And for your information, in 1983, where the Industrial Revolution sparked, where the Industrial Revolution happened in the United States, most of the companies come up with a punitive kinds of rules, punitive kinds of rules, and also they come up with such strict rules to control their workers, to control their workers. And from there, man's get these ideas, to conduct a study instead of controlling people through that kinds of mechanism. Why not the people actually control themselves? The people actually control the motivation, control that factor themselves. And then for your information now, if you look at the multinational company or international companies, the West ideas, especially from the United States, they come up with this kind of mechanism, with this man's theory of self-leadership. And if you happen to work with them, I'm sharing based on my personal experience, working with the multinational companies. These US-based companies, even now, compared to the 1983s, where they imposed that kinds of punitive rules, and strict rules, compared to now, they are much more loose, much more loose regulation. For example, they even have a game room. If you feel that you are saturated, you can come to the game room, and then you can play the games. You can play the games. All right. And then we do have a sleeping pod. The ideas of sleeping pods, that West brought up here, especially in multinational companies or international companies, is to let the workers rest and then charge their energies. And after that, they expected those who have taking a nap, come to work, and then they charge the energies and come back to work like full of energy, full of ideas. So that is how the self-leadership theory emerged. So when we talk about self-leadership theory, first you have to understand about the definitions of the leadership theory, self-leadership. Self-leadership, according to Browning in 2018, it is about influence and referred in relationship to serve, motivate, and empowering others. All right. And also Browning stated that self-leadership is a self-awareness, setting goal for honoring self, actively rejecting pessimisms and being the change you want to see in the world. Rejecting pessimism, it means that you have a zero tolerance for negativity. And according to Jamal in 2015, self-leadership in you means you obey your own moral principle and sensible convictions to create a strong identity for a good decision making, and also self-assertion skill. Self-assertion skill here means that you're able to bring forward your ideas, your view, your thoughts, and let others heard it. And then having these kinds of strong identity will create self-esteem to live in opportunity of world. I realized that the problems that our students the students have right now, in fact, even when my times, the obvious problem is students doesn't have the gut to come forward and then give their ideas. They might afraid that they're being judged by uttering the kinds of ideas. They might afraid people perception if they voice out their opinion and so on. So hopefully after this, after you understand about leadership definitions, and also the skills in empowering and also skill in lifting your self-leadership skills, hopefully you come out fresh, new, and able to have your self-assertion skills. Now, I'm citing a work from in 2017, which is develop sense of who you are, what you can do, where you are going, coupled with the ability to influence your communication, emotions, and behavior on the way to getting there, which is your goal. At the center of leadership in the person is who, more than anything else, make the difference. It means that, okay, it means that you know where your direction is. Okay, you know how to shift your directions, you know how to move your directions, and how to achieve it. You take full the directions, or the goal is you, right? You take a full control of it. You take a full control of it. All right. And remember, do not underestimate your power to change the world. The world might be your office. The world might be your college. The world might be your community. The world might be an industry. Okay, it doesn't matter. But as long as you have these kinds of desire, these kind of perceptions that you want to change the world, right? And then self-leadership theory. I will only explain to you about self-leadership theory, but first you have to understand, you have to understand why self-leadership matters. And by learning the self-leadership, what will you gain? Okay, by learning the self-leadership, you will know how the conditions of being led by others can actually become more effective when individuals become self-leaders. We often heard that when we want to make a decision, we always wait for the others to make a decision first. Okay, actually, when we decided what we want to do, we take a full charge of ourselves. Then it is more effective. Becoming a self-leader is more effective. And then by learning the theory of self-leadership, you spark your enthusiasms of learning. Because why? Your behavior influences you. Right? Remember these things. Those who feels that they have this kind of feelings, this kind of feelings to change the world, this kind of feelings to become a difference, and always those who feel they're born as a leader, they always surround themselves with people who are ready, people who are knowledgeable, right? People who have skills. That is why by learning self-leadership skill, it is hopefully you can spark your enthusiasm of learning. Because why? Social or cognitive theories in self-leadership does matter. And then provide individual with a sense of purpose. Remember what I said just now, that one of the important components in self-leadership is how you want to change the world. Okay, how you want to change the world is related with a sense of purpose. With a sense of purpose, I think you guys know, the purpose of our life is to berbakti kepada agama, kepada bangsa, kepada negara. Okay, how we want to serve your religions, your nations, okay, the society. And then self-leadership strategies. This is actually the ideas that has been brought forward by Houghton and Neck in 2002, right? Houghton and Neck in 2002 bring these ideas, the foundations of self-leadership theory, which is in terms of theoretical context, it is constructed with behavior-focused strategies, constructive thoughts or patterns, constructive thought patterns, and also natural rewards. Okay, and all these three, okay, all these foundations, theoretical foundations of leadership strategies, if you move it, okay, and then you move it, and then okay, reiterate it, the process is reiterative. Okay, it will lead to more polished goal settings, okay, and it will create an intrinsic motivations and also self-regulation, right? So what is behavior focused strategies? All right, in achieving full blast of your self-leadership, right? Behavior-focused strategies that was sparked by Houghton and Neck in 2002 stress out that it increased one's behavior to adapt to situational demand in improved performance, which is increased goal commitment. By behavior-focused strategies, you will focus, it is related with the performance like achievement, all right? And then constructive thought patterns. Constructive thought patterns is about rational thinking, and then you transform problems into challenge, you visualize success, you have a constant thoughts, and you evaluate belief and assumption. Remember, what you think is what you are. Okay, I think you have heard about that famous quote, yeah. And then natural rewards, finding what is pleasant and rewarding about work tasks and shaping the work environment to be enjoyable. That is why natural rewards, yeah, natural rewards. Natural rewards, if we believe that if we are doing something out of enjoyment, if we're doing something because we like that task, it implicitly bring up the natural reward, which means that you feel rewarding, you feel pleasant, even though sometimes you are not rewarded by a physical tokens, yeah, physical token. You feel when you have you feel when you achieve that task, okay, you do it out of enjoyment, then that is what we call as a natural rewards, right? So then, self-leadership application. I'm going to tell you about how self-leadership can be applied to these different kinds of settings. All right. So if you look at your slides, if you look at here, okay, if you can see that in your lab, there's a very cuddly and very cute, cuddly and cute animal. I'm sure they 100% know this is a penguin. Okay, all right. Why this comparison between a human? All right. Remember the points that I have said in the first introduction, that everyone's born as unique. It is the same as an animal, which have their specific traits, which have their uniqueness. All right. The example that I want to show here is a penguin, a cuddly animal. Okay, but surprisingly, through research, the penguin is actually an intelligent animal because it can solve indoor games. Yeah, it can solve indoor games like puddle. It likes riddles, and then like jigsaw puzzle, yeah, and so on. And then despite the outer looks of the animal, which is black and white tuxedos they're wearing, they can, using that trait, special traits, they can camouflage underwater, all right, to avoid their pemangsa, their prey. Okay, and then even though they're walking slow on the land, and if you know the patterns of walking, seems like, okay, walking very slow on the land, they are the fastest swimming bird underwater. And then they are family orientation, which is loving and caring, and they are good at team working. So these special traits, this uniqueness makes them survive in the jungle, survive in the Antarctic. Can you imagine? Okay, can you imagine those who are living, those animals that living in the Antarctic? Okay, are every day felt threatened by different prey. Okay, threatened by the polar bear, threatened by the seal, and so on. Okay, and then the what I say just now, yeah, these special traits in penguin make them survive in the concrete jungle in Antarctic. How about you? Okay, list out your external features, list out your internal features. Remember, you're in and you're out. Okay, you're in and you're out. If you polish them, if you take charge of them, if you know who you are, right, it can make you survive in the concrete jungle. It can make you survive in this industrial revolution 4.0, and it can make you survive in this pandemic situation. How? I'm going to tell you how. Right? So issues of pandemics or industrial revolution 4.0 and also the pandemics, yeah. And if you can see now, the issues of pandemics or social impact, mental health, economic issues, and psychosocial. I'll give you the example. It does happen that during the pandemics, yeah, and we are now in the endemic era, okay, there's so many companies that have to shut down their businesses, and so many people has been retrenched from their works. Okay, you can see from the airlines, yeah, in the airline industry, many pilots, many stewardess has been retrenched from their works because why? Aircraft unable to fly. And even that, when all business are closed and shut down, many companies, many restaurants has been wrapped up the business because they couldn't sustain, because they couldn't thrive in that kinds of emergency situation. All right. And then because of pandemic, okay, and now it's pandemic situations, there are so many issues about mental health. Okay, remember, if you can imagine it, if you don't have money, you are relying on the government fund, for example. Okay, that is very devastating, whereby you can't afford the lifestyle that you had back before pandemic happened. Okay, and then there's also research. There's also research saying that during the pandemic, people's the marriage institutions become crumble. Okay, become crumble. Parents fight and it affect children and so on. And even when when children are isolated, when children are detained, when our children are grounded in their home, they don't have these kinds of interaction with people. Okay, if you can see that during the pandemic situation, there's so many effects, so many issues happening. Okay, plus we are being remixed, we are being announced by the greater industrial revolution 4.0. But what is actually industrial revolution 4.0? Okay, but if looking back at the Japan policy on industrial revolution 4.0, it is about a smart older society. Okay, in Singapore, it is known as smart community. Okay, in Malaysia and Germany, it is known as Industrial Revolution 4.0, and even Germany now has moved forward into Industrial Revolution 5.0. And when we talk about Industrial Revolution 4.0, it started in Germany, and different countries have their different goals in positioning Industrial Revolution 4.0. But do you know what issues lingering around the Industrial Revolution 4.0? Okay, when we talk about IR 4.0, it is all about Internet of Things. It is about automation. It is about focus of using a robotics machine. It is about an automation. It is about AI, artificial intelligence. So in Industry 4.0, when there's a lot of Internet of Things happen, when there's a lot of automations and AI happens, and it create no job that replace the human. Okay, it create no job that replace a human. And then beside that, people need new skills, require new skill to survive. Okay, require new skill to survive. I think almost every day. Okay, almost every day, the changes in requiring new skill is always constant. Okay, it's not staggering at one. It's not sluggish at one point. It is staggering at different phase and moments of our life. So the question of both these things, issues of pandemics and also Industrial Revolution 4.0. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready to cope, embrace these two things that is happening around us right now? All right. That is why self-leadership is very important as a mechanism for dealing with these issues. All right. Remember, when we talk about self-leadership, it is about how you manage yourself, how you can be the best versions of yourself, how can you be better in managing yourself. That is why in self-leadership, components such as emotional intellect, relationship management, and also self-awareness become so incumbent to fight all these crises: the crisis of economic global, the crisis of social isolation, the crisis of data privacy, the crisis of distance learning credibility. Okay, let me give one example about distance learning credibility. we don't know nowadays. Nowadays, almost all landscape, tertiary education, okay, higher education institutions, and even primary school, they're adopting these kinds of technologies, these kinds of learning, which is higher, learnings, learnings at learning online, okay, online learning. They're adopting these kinds of techniques, right? So I particularly want to point out about the issues on higher education institution, whereby you can see now there's a lot of services that offered, okay, that offered, I think, unethical services. For example, assignment helper, okay, and even when it is proven in research that during the pandemic, when all are doings, all are done, okay, all are done through internet, all are done through internet, all are done through this online, especially in terms of examination. They are ethical transgression happens, okay, ethical transgression, whereby students, they doesn't feel wrong to copy and paste. They doesn't feel wrong to citing or referring to someone else's works and then put them in the examinations. And then it means that in distant learning credibility, it raised so much issues. So with emotional intellect, you have to think far, you have to think beyond, okay? You have to think beyond. What is the consequences if you copy and paste? What is the consequences if you only taking someone input and then pour down in your examination question answer sheet, okay? It takes about your emotional intellect, you judge good judgment of relationship management, on good judgment of your self-awareness, all right, to take into account the consequences that you have to bear if, right, if you fail to address this distance learning credibility. Remember, credibility as a student, okay, is the ultimate priority, especially when you take full charge of learning by yourself. All right. So masters this leadership skill. This is actually has been proposed by Jamal in 2015, yeah, which is there's so many, there are around 21 skills, okay, that students have to master on the leadership skills. But I'll only point out around six, yeah, around six. First, ability to enable, empower, and encourage others, right? When talking about ability to enable, empower, and encourage others, we tend to see that in social media right now, young people, okay, they have this tendency to talk bad about the people. They have tendency to be cynical. They have they love to throw mean words, okay, mean words to anybody. I know that freedom of speech is entitled to everybody, but it doesn't mean that you can. That doesn't mean that you have to you can voice out anything that you think is right. Please voice it out in a decent manner, okay, not simply shout your lung out, okay, but you have to learn the art of expressing your ideas, which is doesn't hurt anyone. So that is why ability to enable, empower, and encourage others is very important, especially in terms of in relation with this pandemic era, whereby people are experiencing some mental health a lot. So my take is, please speak a good words to anyone, okay, and then please express your thoughts, yeah, express your voice in a very decent manner, and then being humble and teachable, and then courage, creating visions, conflict resolution, passions, and motivation. And then courage, okay, I'll point out, okay, several points that has been highlighted by Jamal. Courage is having the strength of character to persist and hold on to ideas, willing to take risks in the achievement of their goals with no assurance of success. This is has been said by Bedford 2012 and also Boyle in 2011. All right. So remember, it's about how you persist. It's about how you persist in your time frames, yeah, in your time frames, in your journey, how you persist to achieve achieve your goal. So traits of courageous leaders that has been uttered by Dardanico in 2013. You can confront reality head-on, and then you seek feedbacks and listen, say what you need to be said. Said and communicate openly and frequently. Remember that people need feedback so they can progress. And then lead the change, make decisions and move forwards, and give credit to others. Means that you give people credit to make them feels that they are accountable, to make them feels they are worthy, to make them feel that we are relying on them. Okay, that's what we call as empowering people. And that this is the most important part in courageous leader. All right. So 4 pillars, yeah, 4 pillars in ability to enable and empower, encourage others, Passionel in 2013. The 4 pillars are identify positive potential in every person in every situation. Remember that good leaders is those who create more leaders, all right? And then communicate with condition, progress, and contributions. Communicate in a language of collaboration and cooperations, encouraging leaders are committed to coaching and 360-degree feedback. I think when we talk about ability to enable and empower and encourage others, this is related with the points, yeah, the points that had been posted up by me, okay, just now. And then we're moving into guidelines leading from within by Lolly Daskal in 2017. All right, set goals for your life. Set daily, monthly, and long-term goals like your vision and dream. Do not go afraid to go for something bigger. Nothing is impossible. Remember, I've said before that do not underestimate your power to change the world. And then honor others, appreciate others, not take recognition, validations, and credit by yourself. Stand together with people. Instead, you say, I do this, you have to credit people for their hard work. And then lead by example, be fearless, embrace new ideas and opportunities, make sure that compassion and empathy are a central part of who you are. This is in relation with care for and about people, right? And then I'm going to highlight, be the change you want to see in the world. Everything you want begins with you. Dream big and start small. And I suggest to you from now on, do not wait. For example, I'll wait to learn karate. I always dream to learn karate, and I'll wait for next year maybe. Do not wait. Okay, start now. Better late than never, right? And then create your this is the skill builder, right? Skill builder that I craft to help you, right, to do these fun activities, all right, to do these fun activities pertaining to leading from within. What you have to do is you can create your goal posters and then put the most recent pictures of you. In that pictures you feel confident. You self-love, you say that you're handsome, that you're so smart, okay? And then based on the guides number 1, set daily, monthly, and long-term goals. You also have to put guide number 10, okay? You also have to put guide number 10, in which you have to put a quotes and also what you want to achieve, all right? And then set it as your own wallpaper. Submit the picture of your posters based on the preferred platforms, Kalam, Google Classroom, WhatsApp, Telegram, Team. This is for fun, skill body for fun. It means that what you put in the poster, okay, your daily, monthly, and also your yearly target, you by hook by crook try to achieve that. All right. This is a list of reference. Okay, in case you have a doubt about the points that I have shared, you can refer to this reference. And I think that's all. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum.